a whopping 30 seconds to read today's chapter, and is the most relatable thing I think I have ever, that I could ever relate to. And it was, I would rather not do that. Okay, now that we're here, good morning. I am in a quiet house, and it is not past my bedtime in a dark bedroom with a black wall, but it is a rainstorm. Sorry about last night, dear guys. I was reading Harry Potter with Gracie, and the laying down and the reading, I don't know what happened. So we're doing it this morning because everyone's out of the house except Mercy, but Mercy sleeps until like 11 o'clock, so it's quiet. And we only have 4 verses. It's the quickest 4 verses to ever read, but it is literally the most relatable thing maybe we would ever read in the scriptures, and that is John Whitmer. He's getting called to a new calling. And who's John Whitmer? Well, he was one of the 8 witnessers. And he gets this new calling, and his response is, I would rather not do that. That's what he says. This is me. This is me not just to callings, but this is me to God. Well, I think to 100% of the things. I feel like God rarely gives me what I'm specifically asking for. No, I don't want to say that. That's not true. That's not giving him credit for, everyday good health and not dying and, but more specifics. It's rare that I'm always on a course correction is what I'm saying. I pray for something, he gives me something different. It's always been better, sure, but I still have to get to the point of, this isn't what I asked for. How am I going to move forward? How long am I going to be mad about it? Just kidding. All right, let's just read it really fast, super quick. Good morning. Let's start off by feeding your soul and then get out of bed and get some breakfast. Know what I mean? Behold, it is expedient. We're in Doctrine and Covenants 47. Behold, it is expedient in me that my servant John Whitmer, one of the 8 witnesses, should write and keep a regular history and assist you, my servant Joseph, in transcribing all things which shall be given you until he is called to further duties. So he is the first official church historian, John. This is what he's getting called to do. And again, verily I say unto you that he can also lift up his voice in meetings whenever it shall be expedient. And again, I say unto you that it shall be appointed unto him to keep the church record and history continually. For Oliver Cowdery I have appointed to another office. So Oliver was unofficially doing this. Oliver has other duties to do. Wherefore it shall be given him, inasmuch as he is faithful by the Comforter, to write these things, even so, amen. And what does our pal John say? I would rather not do that. But observed that the will of the Lord be done. Now, if I am thinking of the pattern of my life for the past 11 years as a member, which really just means I'm well in my 30s now, and that's interesting. That is interesting that is how old I am now. I have always been asked to go through the unwanted, the unexpected, and the uncharted. And I used to just... It's easy, especially when you're new to God, to be like, what the heck? This isn't how it's supposed to work, right? But I remember getting, not upset, but like, why? I don't know, maybe just tired. Maybe I was just tired from things not going how I was pleading for them to. And I had to catch myself mostly in fatigue. And I realized if this is the pattern of my life, if the pattern of my life is going to consistently be getting called to the unwanted, unexpected, uncharted, then I have to figure out a better way to respond, because me being confused or upset or sad is exhausting, and I don't want that to be my response every time, because I'm just tired of that. I'm tired of feeling like that. It's the unwanted and unexpected is happening too often to get upset about it every time. So that is when I decided, well, what if, we talk about this all the time, what if I see my seasons through? What if God knows something I don't? He does. You know what I mean? What if I allow him that opportunity to show me how great he really is? Because what if the unwanted and unexpected is God intervening? Probably is. So for me, I am an optimist, but that doesn't mean I'm happy all the time. It means I believe that there is always another way to view things. What is it? So for me, when I am going through something I don't want to, or that I hate, I'm like, wait, I believe in a God who is always there. So what is another way to look at it? I believe good is always there because God is always there. Am I seeing it? What could this mean, this redirection? Where could it lead me? I don't know. There's only one way to find out. So I am John almost daily where I say I would rather not God, but I will if you're behind it. Know what I mean? That's it. That's all there is. But I will read something that I wrote. Maybe I've read it to you before, but I had my laptop open because in the mornings I'm writing. I write a lot. And this was up as a note from a podcast interview I did earlier this week, and it kind of fits. So just listen. Just hang out on your butt and listen. It dawns on me how I limit God. I place restrictions on him. I don't mean to, but I do. Sometimes it's easier to see this with people in the scriptures because we can see their start from their end, but we can't really see that with ours. It's hard knowing that our desires are not his will. It's then that fear and wonder and doubt come, and we question if he actually cares about us, if he is aware, or if he is sleeping. If he's really part of the details, if promises of a great life with these great blessings we hear so often about, but don't see if they really will be fulfilled. But what would we do differently if we could see our end like we see those in the scriptures? What kind of life could we be living if we stopped keeping God at arm's length? What could our life look like if we trusted him completely? If we see our seasons through? What could we receive if we gave God the chance to show us how great he is? What could life look like if we, like John, would say, I would rather not, but then have that but at the end of it? I would rather not, but if you're behind it, let's see. Let's see where it can take me. If I'm being honest, I wouldn't have a single thing I have now if it weren't for God and his ways. And this really is so true. I spend a lot of time screaming at him, wondering where he is, because my life follows in this pattern of bad to worse to even worse. Like it just does. And every time, obviously in hindsight, so I try to do better at this in the moment, but in hindsight, in the 11 years that I've known God, every time I'm screaming at him, every time I am losing my voice, wondering where he is and if he cares still about me, it has been every single one of those times that has brought me to everything I have now. Everything, every talent, every blessing, every opportunity has come from the times where I'm wondering where he is. And I just could not imagine my life any different. I just couldn't. Is it any wonder though? You know what I mean? Like, of course things come together. I'm going to go back to reading. Of course things come together. And I say of course because when we remember who God really is and his purpose, of course he will bring us to better things. Even if on our way to them, it's down a path longer than anticipated. that's what he does. That's what his whole purpose for us. And like the passing time with Joseph, I'm talking about Joseph in the Old Testament. He's promised a great life, but then he goes in a hole, and then he's sold as a slave, and then he goes to prison. And so his life is in that pattern of bad to worse to even worse. And he's like, what the heck? I'm promised to be a leader. I was told, a great life. And his whole life is passing him by, and none of that is happening. And it's going from bad to worse to even worse. So that's why he's talked about it. So like with passing time with Joseph in the Old Testament, God, he knows something we don't. If we but keep going and not pray or expect trials to be prevented, but to pray to hold out for bigger miracles. Because blessings do not dim with passing time. Because like with Joseph, we have every reason to be excited about what is to come. Because he does work hard with every little detail to make sure it is even better with what we have in mind. And I think we forget that. I think that we forget is the unexpected is God intervening. I think that we forget that his whole purpose is to bring us to those best things, and it's hard to remember that when we're presented with the things that we would rather not do. I think that we forget that we don't really want it our way. I think we forget how thrilling it is to live by faith. So today, if we're just starting out our day, maybe that's something we can be mindful of today. What are some things that we have been putting off or hesitant to? What are things that we've been doing that keeps God at arm's length? What can we better do or change? And maybe it's just our mindset to be like, I would rather not, but I will see where it goes because I believe in a God who cares about me. So I'm going to see where it leads me. And I'm going to see my seasons through. Could our day be different when we get rid of some of those restrictions? Maybe we even subconsciously put on him. We limit our limitless God. How can we change that today and be mindful of that? I don't know. Let's see. But today, it's a new day. We got a fresh start. And, that's fine and all, but every passing second is a chance to turn it all around. So let's just do this. Let's go. It's going to be a good day. Good things are coming. We got a great life ahead of us because we got a God who is real and who cares. And you're so great. And thanks for being so nice to me last night when I fell asleep on my bed. We're going to do a Q&A, but let's do it maybe tomorrow night and we can spend time where you guys send in questions and it'll be like a real thing. Or something. Okay, bye.